Andy, good morning. Thanks for joining us. Is Justin Fields transferring from Georgia?
I would think so. His name appeared in the NCAA's transfer portal last night, so that means any school that wants to recruit him now can contact him. And my guess is there will be a lot of schools contacting Justin Fields because a lot of schools want him out of high school. He signed with Georgia, even though Jake Fromm was in the middle of leading Georgia to an SEC title in the national title game as a true freshman. And it didn't quite end up the way Justin Fields wanted. And now he's probably going to go to one of those schools that probably will give him a chance to start right away.
All right, there's an ugly backdrop to this as well that might be part of his rationale for transferring and being allowed to play right away. Give the background story on Justin Fields.
My guess is that the reason for the transfer is playing time, but and I feel like I come on your show and have to explain all these really Byzantine NCAA. That's super boring, but basically they've changed the way that they handle waivers for undergraduates who transfer, because when you transfer, you're supposed to sit out a year if you haven't already graduated. But if something happened that is outside the athlete's control that affects his health, safety, or well-being, they're supposed to grant the waiver. Well, there was an incident during the Georgia-Tennessee game on September 29th where a Georgia baseball player was overheard in the stands yelling, "Put the N-word in," except he actually said the word, and he was referring to Justin Fields. This got investigated by Georgia. The guy was kicked off the baseball team, so it's been thoroughly documented. And so if Justin Fields wants to say, "This is why I'm transferring," there is no way the NCAA, from a PR standpoint, can deny that waiver. He's going to be able to play next year.
What are the likely destinations for him? I know that you said there are going to be a lot of schools that are going to be opening their doors here, but I immediately thought of Ohio State. If you're going to have,
that's a good thought. Dwayne Haskins is probably going pro. I'm not sure they're convinced Tate Martell is the answer there. So there's a really good chance that's where he ends up. Oklahoma would be another one. Kyler Murray's not coming back. So, but if you use that incident as a reason, I don't know that you can get a waiver if you go to the school that has another high-profile incident like that with the SAE fraternity video from a few years ago. So that one would be a little odd. Florida State could be one. I mean, there's a lot of options because so many schools wanted this guy out of high school.
What about Jalen Hurts? Any chance that he transfers?
Well, I think there's a chance. I was surprised he didn't do it this year, but it certainly worked out for him. But he has now graduated from Alabama. He can go somewhere and play right away if he wants to. But with him, I think we're going to have to see what happens throughout the rest of the playoff because, we don't know if Tua Tagovailoa is going to be fully healthy. We don't know if Jalen's going to have to come in again and do what he did in the SEC championship game. So I think that's a wait and see. But, if Tagovailoa is healthy, plays the whole playoff, I think there's a real good chance Jalen Hurts does go somewhere else. And, Oklahoma would be another good option for him. If Justin Herbert left Oregon to go pro, that would be a good option. TCU is open. That's in his home state. So I think there's quite a few spots.
You always pick out some great names on the recruiting trail. Didn't you have Kobe Buffalo Meat? Was that a player who got?
Oh, that is a player. That's an Illinois State offensive lineman from Lawrence, Kansas. Kobe Buffalo Meat is awesome, and got some good ones this year too. It's
I like that medium rare, by the way.
So far,
what?
Yeah, we got Steele Chambers signing with Ohio State. He's going to either score a bunch of touchdowns or he'll open his own detective agency catering only to the sexiest clients.
I like that.
Maverick McIver is a quarterback at Texas Tech. And Storm Duck in the upset of the century. Cornerback Storm Duck is not going to Oregon. He's going to North Carolina.
Wow. Give me the top quarterbacks where they're going, top three.
Well, it's interesting because this is not a year like last year where it was Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields and everybody else. Trevor Lawrence, who's playing at Clemson now. There really isn't a guy that everybody thinks, okay, this is the guy. So it's hard to say, who are the top three. They've got them ranked on the ranking sites, but there's nobody who's like an obvious, hey, this guy's going to come in and be a star.
Okay.
So it will be interesting. Wisconsin has a guy named Graham Mertz coming in from Kansas that I think the recruit picks are very high on him and think he could actually push Alex Hornibrook fairly early, which would be really interesting because they still have Jonathan Taylor at Wisconsin. That offense could be pretty interesting if they have a quarterback good enough to push the 3-year starter.
What about Michigan?
Well, they like the guys they signed last year. They got a guy out of Orlando named Joe Milton who has a great arm, wound up being the backup after Dylan McCaffrey got hurt. So I think probably what you're going to see is, whatever happens with Shea Patterson, we'll see. But I don't know that Shea Patterson is ready to go pro yet. So I would think he's back. And then you also have McCaffrey and Milton. It's a pretty good group to choose from for Jim Harbaugh.
And this is Christian McCaffrey's brother, Dylan.
Yes. Yep. And he was the backup, but he got hurt this year, and they had to use Milton, who was a true freshman, toward the end.
Does Tua have a brother?
Tua does have a brother, Talia. He is going to Alabama. Remember, the family moved from Hawaii to Alabaster, Alabama, and the little bro has been lighting it up in the state of Alabama, and looks like he's going to follow to his footsteps.
Good stuff, Andy. I know you got a busy day. Thanks for spending some time with us.
All right, thanks, Dan.
That's Andy Staples, Sports Illustrated senior college football writer.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Dan Patrick Show app.